Hello everybody, welcome to Free Coder. Here you can learn all about programming.
So you want to become an AI engineer? You've come to the right place. We're going to lay out a complete practical roadmap for breaking into this field in 2025. This is a step-by-step guide with no fluff, just what you really need to know to get started.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll get clear on what an AI engineer actually is. Then, we'll build up your Python foundation, get into the heart of large language models, assemble your toolkit, put it all into practice with real projects, and finally, we'll talk about what it really takes to get AI into production.
First things first, we need to know what we're aiming for. The title AI engineer can mean a lot of different things to different companies, so let's get on the same page.
Now this slide is super important because it draws a clear line in the sand. We're talking about the practical AI engineer. We are not talking about the PhD researchers at places like OpenAI who are building the next GPT from the ground up. Nope. We're focused on the engineers who take these incredible models and actually implement them into real software systems, using amazing tools to solve real-world problems. All right, now that we know where we're going, let's talk about the absolute must-have foundation. Before you can even think about building with AI, you have to be rock solid in the #1 language of the field, Python.
And listen, this is not a field for beginners. You need a seriously strong foundation. Yeah, that means mastering the basics like variables and loops, but you also need to get comfortable with the trickier stuff. I'm talking about decorators for modifying functions on the fly, and generators, which are absolutely crucial for handling huge streams of data without blowing up your memory, something you'll be doing constantly. This stuff is your bedrock.
And don't forget, AI engineering is still software engineering. That means you need the standard toolkit. Git for tracking everything, an IDE like VS Code to live in, Bash for zipping around the terminal, and virtual environments to keep your projects from turning into a tangled mess of libraries. These are completely non-negotiable skills.
All right, foundation's set. Now, let's get into the real heart of modern AI, large language models, or as we all know them, LLMs.
Your goal here is all about practical mastery. You don't need to build one, but you do need to understand how they think, how they take your prompt and spit out a response. You need to be a strategist, knowing when it's better to use Gemini over GPT for a specific task. And most importantly, you have to be the one who writes the code that actually talks to these models, either through their APIs or by running them right on your own machine.
Okay, so you get how LLMs work, but how do you actually build complex stuff with them, like AI agents that can do things on their own? Well, that's where the frameworks come in. This is your essential toolkit. If I were starting today, this is the path I would take. Start with LangChain. It's the perfect entry point for quickly whipping up AI apps. Once you get that down, level up to LangGraph. It gives you way more control for building complex, multi-step AI agents. And all along the way, you should be playing with Hugging Face. Think of it as a massive library full of specialized, pre-trained models for just about any task you can imagine.
Now this next part, honestly, I think it's the most critical piece of this entire journey. You can have all the tools and knowledge in the world, but theory alone won't cut it. It is time to build things.
Let's be really clear about this. You can watch 100 tutorials, you can read every article out there, but to actually get hired and succeed in this field, you have to stop being a passive consumer of information and become an active creator of solutions.
And the difference is just staggering. I mean, look at this. The data is clear. Passively watching might get you, 20% retention? But when you learn by doing, by actually writing the code and banging your head against the wall to solve problems, that retention can skyrocket to 90%. That is a massive, game-changing difference.
So where do you start? Hey, try one of these. How about an AI to-do list that not only tracks your tasks, but actually helps you prioritize them? Or an AI web scraper that can understand the meaning of a web page, not just its code. Or you could build a content helper that brainstorms ideas for you. Any of these would be a fantastic piece for your portfolio.
And the best part is, as you build these projects, you'll naturally start learning these critical advanced skills. You'll master prompt engineering, the art of asking the AI the perfect question. You'll learn about fine-tuning, which is basically teaching a general model a very specialized skill. And you'll get into things like RAG, which is this powerful technique for letting an AI answer questions using your own private documents. Okay, for our final section, let's talk about the giant leap. The leap from a cool project that runs on your laptop to a real-world AI system that can work reliably for millions of users. This, my friends, is the final frontier.
This is the world of LLM Operations, or LLMOps. It's about building systems that don't break. It means using tools like Docker to package your app, making sure it can scale to handle tons of users, and putting in logging and testing to catch errors. And maybe most importantly, it's about building fallbacks for when the AI inevitably messes up or says something weird. This is where the real engineering challenge is.
You know, a friend of mine who's an AI engineer at a pretty big startup put it perfectly. He told me, my job is about 20% working with the AI. The other 80% is really just software engineering. It's about building that solid system around the AI. In this chart right here, it visualizes his point perfectly. The core AI work, the prompt engineering, the fine-tuning, that's the fun, flashy 20%. But the hard part, the part that makes you a truly great AI engineer, is the other 80%. It's building the architecture, the databases, the APIs, all the infrastructure that makes the AI actually useful and reliable in the real world.
So, here's the main takeaway, the crucial point of all of this. Becoming an AI engineer isn't just about learning AI. It's about becoming a great software engineer who specializes in using AI as one powerful tool inside a much bigger system. So the real question isn't just, can you use an AI? It's, are you ready to build the system around the AI?